Hey, so what do you think of Time Magazine's Person of the Year? Unfortunately, for um, more than once, it's not me. It's it's a 16-year-old girl, Greta Thunberg, the big climate change activist, spokesperson for Gen Z. Definitely not being manipulated or used for any narrative, but she's a Time Magazine's Person of the Year, and our 73-year-old president and her, I guess, kind of like went at it, or he kind of attacked her on Twitter. I was reading this tweet of something about go see a movie and chill. And there's been a lot of memes with her because she kind of looked all angry and stuff. And I'm not sure if she has autism. I think someone says she has autism. I'm not sure. But she just was talking shit about trains in Germany or something. She had some tweet about people being overcrowded in a train in Germany. And, well, we all know like how trains in Germany back in the day were overcrowded. But I don't think she meant like, well, I don't think she meant that, but I think she's what I'm trying to say is getting too big for her britches, where she's like kind of she's going after like people had to sit on the floor. I mean, I've ridden the subway or the L in Chicago. Yeah, it ain't no fucking it's no delicacy at all. So I don't know if she's gonna, I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
I don't know. It just shows this world that we're living in. This 2019, almost 20. That it's, like you said, there's a reason for it. It's probably just to sell more copies of magazines that use paper that are from trees that get cut down. If you know where I'm getting with this with climate change, but anyway,
Right.
it's like you said,
To make them.
it's just to get certain people interested into their brand, their organization. Now, I didn't look back on who got it the last couple years.
I think Trump got it one year actually. So I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
he's
so
mad he didn't. Yeah.
maybe that's the exact opposite. I don't know. There's no response I have without sounding like a grumpy old man. But she's just a grumpy kid, and now she's
Okay.
person of the year.
Hold on. Update here. Not to be a news person because I would rather jump out a window than be a news person. But that
Breaking
German
news.
railway company,
Uh-huh.
yeah, German railway company is not apologizing anymore. They realized that the climate activist was not on the train's floor, but in first class. So she was complaining about having to sit on the floor, and the train's overcrowded. And to me, that is whatever. But she's actually in first class.
Hmm.
Um,
You knew something was going to come out on her that
what the fuck is? So now she's like, what is her deal though? Like, why she just like, OMG, I'm on a train, it's like crowded. Or is she trying to take on this company? I mean, you've been in Europe. Is trains overcrowded in Germany? Is that a big deal?
is it just like a local train or
I guess. Well,
I
it
don't
had first
know.
class, so
Oh no, she had a minor inconvenience.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? The only reason I'm for this is I can't wait to watch the South Park episode where they give Cartman the Person of the Year, because that's
I
gonna happen.
I think she's making some statement, taking a train or something. Climate change or climate crisis. So she's taking a train versus driving some automobile. And then she's on some floor, and then we got to change this, but then she's really in first class. It's a bunch of bullshit. That's what I'm getting from like skimming this. So now I'm going to go on Facebook and give some ill-informed, polarizing statement about this, and argue with people in the comments.
I don't know. I mean, she's still riding a train though. Does it matter what class she's in? She's in
No,
terms of like her.
don't act like you're one of the real people. If you're not one of the real people, though, you're in first class. You know
Well,
what I
she's
mean?
still riding a train instead of flying a plane, or not flying a plane, but being in a plane or driving or
You ride a bike. That's what you should do, really. If you're real serious
right.
about it, you ride a bike.
I'm sorry, but if you exist, you're not contributing to the cause, or you are
I'm not.
contributing to the cause.
Do you think though she's being manipulated?
Oh
Like
yeah,
used
for
a
sure.
pawn, a pawn. Like what did she do? She gave a speech to the UN or some shit, or some Congress. I don't know. And now she's Person of the Year because I mean, whatever. I mean, hey, good for you. Let's see. Let's follow up in 20
She's
years.
she's being used by somebody.
She looks
This
like she just ate some shit or something. She looks like she's like not happy.
Yeah, I didn't want to be mean, but I mean you mentioned it earlier, and she does look like there's something off about her. I'm not saying
I'm not
this.
joking. I'm not joking. I think she's. I'm gonna look up Greta
That's what I
Thunberg.
mean. Like I don't know. that's not a reason to judge her, but
No, no, no.
I know nothing about her. I knew, like, just from what the headlines told me. I don't follow her. I didn't look into her. I didn't read any news about her. I just knew she was a quote unquote climate
Yes,
activist, whatever that means.
autistic.
Oh, she is.
Yes.
Not that
So
that matters, but
no, but hopefully she's not being taken advantage of, like we
right.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Does she know
What's
who,
going on?
or do her representatives, her parents, or I don't know, how old is she? 18, 16?
16.
Oh, okay, so she's still a minor. So yeah, hopefully, the people who are taking care of her, I don't know her backstory, that aren't using her for financial.
Well, you notice how she's off limits, even though our president, which is I think is shitty, attacking her. Just don't mention her, dude. She's a 16-year-old girl. You're not gonna look good at all, no
Yeah,
matter
but
what. No matter what.
at the same time, the other side attack or bring up Trump's kid a lot.
Right.
I'm just
Or the
playing.
Covington, the Covington kids and the Kentucky kids. Remember those kids?
Yeah,
I mean, they got
I've
fucking
heard. I
railroaded
mean, I've heard
big
this.
time.
I've heard this before. From the other side that you shouldn't make fun of these. You shouldn't bring the kids into it. You shouldn't bring the kids into it. Yet they're saying the same thing. You shouldn't bring the kids into it. Well, it's got to stay fair on both sides.
I mean, some of those kids from the Covington, Kentucky school, and they may be douchebag kids. I don't know them, but they're like, one of them can't get into Harvard now because of this.
You're talking about the one that was on like the Native American something?
It was they had from my understanding they're on some DC field trip and they had some MAGA hats on and there was some black Israelite supremacist group that was yelling at them and they were getting into some kind of altercation and then some Native American to separate him came in with some drum but he's like banging it aggressively in some kid's face and the kid's like smirking at him and like the headlines just went nuts about these asshole kids go to DC and cause trouble, and it was more like, hey, where are the fucking chaperones? Why are these kids left alone?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it was bullshit. But then here comes Greta Thunberg. Oh, she's a kid. Leave her alone. It's like, well, like who? Where does she go at night? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's
Person
all just a part of the media circus, and this person of the year is just used to
you hit it
appeal to a
the
certain
head.
demographic.
I think you said magazines and shit are dead, so like they're just trying to upset people to get people to talk about Time magazine. Because I mean, when do you ever fucking give a fuck about Time magazine? Never. I mean, It's like it's a doctor's office thing. You go to the dentist, there's Time magazine. Oh, person of the year. Oh my god. The only time you ever talk about it is when it's like outrageously. Oh my god, the person of the year. That's not fair. Because I'm sure when they made Trump person of the year, it pissed off a lot of people, and it was controversial. So this is the one that's going to rub people the wrong way and get people talking.
It's not even picking a side. It's just doing something to.
Remember when Rolling Stone put the Boston Bombers fucking face on the Boston Marathon bomber?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember that? I mean, that was completely just for please, we're relevant. I mean, nobody with any like moral standard or moral compass or any kind of journalistic integrity or ethics would ever put like that face up there the way they did. They did it completely to like, please, we have no staff. You know what I mean? Yeah. We went from having Hunter S. Thompson writing for us to like being irrelevant, being like something you jerk off on when you can't find a sock.
Well, that's I was just, you caught me at the wrong point. I was gonna say that's the point of magazines, not to be jerked off onto, but just to start a ruckus one way or another, just to get people talking about your magazine or to buy or just to go online to get viewership. It's like anything nowadays, you got to do something to stay afloat in the content river that is flowing.
When was the last time you read a magazine though? Like an actual paper magazine? Yeah, paper magazine. Not something online. Not like because People, Rolling Stone, all that shit. It lives online, but like no one's like. I remember back in the day. I hear old man Matt. Here goes old man fat ass sleep apnea. Fucking grandpa. Yeah, Rolling Stone used to be a tastemaker. It's not a tastemaker anymore. It's like it's screaming for relevancy, and it has biased articles and biased reviews, and it's just a fucking jerk off fest. And my question is, it seems like a lot of those magazines are like that. Were they always like that, or have they become like that because they're becoming irrelevant and that's all they can get? You know what I mean? Like that's their niche audience. The niche audience likes that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They just do things
Were they always like that, and that's all we had?
yeah,
Because
I
we
would
didn't
say
have.
they do that so 30 mid 30-year-olds who have podcasts just give them something to talk about.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I just sit here reading magazines. That's my material.
Yeah.
Remember, like Cosmopolitan? That was a big deal. Is that a big deal anymore? Remember
I don't think
Cosmopolitan
so.
or Cosmo? Is it Cosmo? And then there's Vogue, right?
There's
Uh,
Cosmo, Vogue, Maxim. Uh,
I mean, you have Playboy and Hustler and Penthouse, but I mean, we all know Pornhub has replaced that,
well,
right? At
Playboy,
least,
didn't they say like they weren't doing nudity? That was a long
they
time
did. That
ago.
was fucking stupid. He died, so I don't know.
There was
That might have
something about
changed.
they I don't know. That was it's been a while.
Fucking but I mean, like, so if you're gonna like the whole porn industry's online, that's moved online. I mean, think about it. Do you want to have a box of porn, or do you want to have something online you can just erase your browser history? It just makes sense.
The boner jams box from
It, I just remember kids' dads having boxes of fucking porn. It's
yeah.
just like, I don't want my kids finding my porn. Not that I'm gonna have kids. I'm just saying, just erase the browser history.
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier. I mean,
But there you
I live
go.
in a small house. It'd be hard to hide that collection.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. And then like your kids will show their friends. I mean, especially if you have boys, especially they'll be like, look at what I got.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, that's what happened. That's how I found that shit.
Yep.
So, but that's all online now. So the kids coming up aren't going to have their dad's Playboys. They're going to be like, "Wow, my dad left his laptop open, and look at this." Um,
Yeah.
that's how they're going to get educated. So that kills that print right there. And then all the music magazines. I remember Hip Parader. You remember Hip Parader?
Oh yeah.
What happened to that? I mean, that went away. Mad Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? That went
Yeah.
away. Crack's like a channel, or Crackle. No, that's Crackle. Cracked a magazine. I mean, it was a big
No,
business.
Cracked is still around. They made I think a podcast or something.
I think Mad Magazine. I mean, Mad Magazine had Mad TV,
Right.
so but it's not around anymore. But I mean, it's not in print anymore. I mean, it's like the '50s, dude. I mean, that sucks. Um,
It's just the times.
well, that's how. So like, I think like these magazines are just like useless. No, Time Magazine. Who cares who's Person of the Year?
Right.
I mean, a 10-year-old kid's not going to go for a magazine. They're not. I mean, in the newspapers, the big ones, the New York Post, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the LA Times, it's all online. Everyone reads it online. I mean, there's really no reason to have a paper. I mean, I guess like when I lived in Chicago, people had papers on the subways, but I guess you could just look at your phone now. I mean, I don't know. That was like 10 years ago. So, um,
Yeah. Everything's
local.
made for the phone now.
Well, it was like it had that local aspect because, like, the papers around here, it's like, oh, the court report, like who got arrested, who got a DUI. I mean that'll always, be important. But again, you can go online and see that. I guess.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Like, oh, give me the sports section. Give me the funnies. Like, no, that doesn't exist anymore. The American Dream, like the breakfast table, dad's reading the paper with his pipe. I mean, now it's more like dad's on the phone with his meth pipe. Um, but I'm just saying, paper is dead, print is dead, and what exists now is just like desperation. So, Time Magazine Person of the Year. No offense to Greta, she's obviously doing way better than I am at life, but it doesn't mean shit. It's just look at me, look at this big deal. I'm mad, and then boom, the comment section explodes with people attacking each other.
But if you pull back and look at it, she does kind of represent the angry Genzer, that runs a lot of narrative nowadays.
We see the okay boomer shit on
Yeah.
social media. Like there's a big backlash to the baby boomers.
Yeah.
They ruined the world. They ruined the country, which they did. But like, what were we gonna do any better? The millennials or Gen Zs or whatever the fuck we are.
It's
I
just
mean,
like, but it's always been like this. It's always been the young versus the old. It's the hippies versus the, I don't know, geezers. And there's
well,
always
it was the boomers, man, versus the greatest generation ever, the World War II generation. I think that's the silent generation,
right.
or I don't know.
It's always just the young generation versus the older generation. The older generation who's in charge, that runs the world, that runs things, versus the ones who have just entered life as an adult, who don't know a lot, who don't
But
haven't
did she win?
experienced a
Did
lot.
she win that award, or did her movement win that award?
Probably the movement,
Yeah.
and she's just the face of it.
She
She
looks like she's having a movement, if you know what I mean.
I mean, if it wasn't him, it was her. It was the kid who spoke up against the gun thing. I forgot his name because no one talks about him anymore.
Was that the kid that Allman, local radio guy Allman, got fired over?
I have no
Uh,
idea.
well, there was a shooting
They
in
talk.
Florida.
It was a big one. It was one of the really big shootings, and the guy, the
It's David
kids.
Hogg. David Hogg.
Sure,
Well,
I don't know his
okay.
name, but yeah, I can.
There's a radio show called Allman in the Morning, and he was like a big deal. He had a TV show on like a local channel here in St. Louis, and he like tweeted he wanted to put a poker up the guy's ass. And I mean, I think he meant like I'm gonna put a fire under his ass, but whatever. I don't fucking care. They twisted it into him like trying to rape the kid with a poker, and he's a teenager, so he lost his show, and now he's on like some Christian station with priests on his show.
Hmm.
But yeah, like the kid was a big fucking deal, man. Like he went out a lot of like conservative like pundits, if you would say. I mean, where is he now though?
Right.
I mean, he was on TV running his mouth all the time. Where is he now? They're done with him. They threw him away, which is what they'll do with Greta. Do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, if this shooting happened, that tragic shooting in Florida happened around a Time Magazine Person of the Year, I bet that kid would have got it.
Probably. That's what I was saying. Like, is she just a face of a movement?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
has made waves. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Why is it called climate? It was called global warming. Now it's called climate change. Why they changed the
Marketing.
Why is it? Is it really?
I'm sure it is.
Is it because global warming is it like let's change cancer into bippity bop? You know, like
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
have you heard that Shakespeare saying that a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet? Meaning that you can call something what it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
so am I supposed to say, well, global warming's fake, but climate change real? Is that what I'm supposed to say? Like, I don't get it.
Well, maybe it was by calling it global warming, because global or whatever it is, it's not just the Earth warming, because there's other aspects as well, that places get colder, or it's
I can't tell you how many
worse
times
tropical
it's wintertime.
storms, or, a lot more tropical
Yeah,
storms,
yeah.
or so it's not just the Earth. It is the Earth warming, but there's a lot of other effects from it, from my understanding. It's because I've heard that that was the argument, that just because the planet's heating up, it doesn't mean everywhere is going to get hotter. Some places are going to get actually colder because of just the change in climate. So it's either marketing or science or both. Probably both. I'm
I
not an
remember
expert by
people
any means.
people going like, "Oh, it's snowing. Where's your global warming now?" You know.
Right.
So I think it might have something to do with that.
Yeah.
It's not technically warming. I don't know. I do my part. I recycle. What else am I supposed to do? Ride a bike?
Do you though?
Do I recycle?
Is recycling, does that help?
No, that's what they say. I mean, why am I doing it then?
Does it? I don't know. Does everything you and everybody else and me, I recycle too, but does everything get recycled, or does it just get shipped off somewhere and put in another dump or another ocean, or
My heart was in the right place.
I thought it was my understanding that China bought a lot of our recyclables and then don't so much anymore because it costs too much.
Why would China want to buy our recyclables?
I don't know. That's just what I heard.
I have I don't know. Am I supposed to feel bad about like this shit? Like, am I going to be in my 70s going, "Oh man, I fucked this world pretty bad. I basically cut a hole in the ground and fucked it." Like, I mean, like that's the message, basically. Okay, boomer, you ruined the world. Now get out of the way and let Greta and her generation fix this shit, right?
Until they realize what it takes to actually quote unquote fix it.
You flash back to the 60s, it was the fucking boomers saying, "Fuck you, fuck
Right.
Vietnam. We're going to fix it."
Right.
So I don't think anybody can fix it.
The world is run by corporations and the government. And until change comes from that level, nothing's going to
And it won't.
change. It won't.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, I hate to be the pessimist, but this has been going on for years. But it's been getting worse and worse and worse because corporations are getting more power, and the government's doing more lobbying for them. So until something changes at that level, it's just going to continue to get worse or just stay the same. Just the way it is. It's the way the world works, and it has been working. I might be
But
wrong.
you,
So
you
maybe I mean, but there are movements. It could just be a you know a spoonful of water out of the ocean. But there are a lot of movements where people are starting to ban plastic bags and
straws.
straws and yeah, and that might do something. I don't know.
How do you think a straw's supposed to feel, or if you worked at the straw factory? What's going to happen to the straw factory people? They're going to lose their goddamn jobs.
Well, it's either
I'm
that or
sure.
they'll do what other big corporations do. They'll use the plastic for something else.
Yeah.
They'll just mold it into something else that uses that type of plastic. They're not just going to go away. They'll just be molded into something
Yeah.
else that's not being banned. It'll be instead of one straw, it'll just be formed into a cup or a plate or something
Isn't there a big
that
thing
hasn't been
of
banned.
garbage in the ocean, like a big like island of garbage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the plastic's going.
Wait a minute. So they're buying our plastic, our recycling from us, and then throwing it in the ocean? That's
I don't
evil.
know. I've heard that. Yeah, I heard a lot of. I don't know. I don't think it's all of our recycling, but it's part of our recycling is being bought by China. And
Oh.
then when Trump added tariffs, they stopped taking certain things, and that's when it became too expensive to recycle. And that's why
Oh.
some towns and municipalities stopped the recycling program because it cost too much. They weren't
Because
getting
fucking
their return.
Trump was playing hardball with the Chinese.
And that's another thing. Like how many people recycle now? Almost, I live in a small town and a lot of people recycle, but there are a lot less recycling plants than there are garbage dumps. So if
I know
all
there's
these
just
people are
that magic
recycling and
though.
there's only a handful amount of recycling plants in the country, the numbers
Yeah.
don't add up in terms of 100% of your recyclables getting recycled.
But people get money for recycling though. There's that.
Oh yeah, it's a
Like
business.
with your cans, like people collect cans and stuff, and they get like 25 cents a can. Like that's. I mean, people like they buy Christmas presents or they pay for meth that way.
Oh
So
yeah.
I
Hey,
mean,
it's good for the consumer sometimes for that reason. But my just question is what happens to those after you do that good deed or get paid? Does that stuff get recycled? Glass maybe, but
we should throw trash into space. Is what we should do.
that's probably the whole point of the whole space exploration. It's not to go there; it's to shoot our shit up there.
And that's when the aliens will come. That's when they'll have fucking say, fuck it. That's
All
too
right,
far.
you can destroy your planet, but once you start messing with
Yeah.
outer space, fuck you.
Fuck.
It's deep talk, but it's real. It's real life.
Well, do you think like we're fucking our country though, or like not our country, our climate, our yeah, our climate, our is there more that we can actually do, or is it just like propaganda? I mean, I believe like there's some truth to it, but I believe a lot of it's just propaganda.
A
It's
lot of,
scare
I feel like a
tactics.
lot of it is. I mean, people can do their parts, and until there's like large movements, like you said, I mean, there has been a large movement against the straw thing, which is propaganda, but still, it's still a movement in
There's
places.
electric cars and stuff now. I mean, those are more
Yeah, but there've been
common.
electric cars for a long time, though.
But they're becoming more mainstream. It used to be
Yeah,
like,
but
oh, dude, this fucking weird dude I know with an electric car. Oh, stay away from that guy. Now it's like, hey, everyone has an electric car. My mom has one. I mean,
yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
it's you would think it would have replaced, it would have gotten a lot more popular if certain. Now, I don't know the story behind that. I know they made documentaries about it because I think there's a documentary called "Who Killed the Electric Car."
oh yeah, someone like bought it and then like just destroyed the rights to it.
Right,
They bought the rights to it and then like didn't want because of gas, because we got oil and we got to
right.
invade the Saudis and stuff. You know what I mean?
So
You
you'd
know how it
think
goes.
it could be a lot more popular, but yeah, it's catching on and they're becoming more affordable. Actually, what happened was because I had a Prius and I was looking to get another one, and the dealership pretty much told me like, well, we don't really, there's not a lot of good deals on Prius anymore because gas is so cheap, so they're not in demand as much as they used to. But you'd think it'd be the opposite. You think they'd be cheaper because demand's higher.
Yeah, I also heard though like the battery though for electric cars, like getting rid of that battery is not good for the environment.
Oh yeah, I
Like
bet.
like it's really bad. So it's kind of like defeats the purpose, you know?
That's kind of my point.
Like,
It's like you can do one thing, you can do another thing, you can do this, you can do that, but it's just, do you want shit in your right hand or do you want shit in your left hand?
do you think it's like a fad, or you think people feel guilty, or what? Because it's like, okay, yeah, I won't litter because when you litter, you're an asshole, and yeah, I'll recycle because like that's like what you do. It's like supposedly the right thing to do. But like, I don't own a fucking factory. I'm not putting shit in the air. I don't own a coal mine. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like get all those people fired? I don't. You know what? What do you want from me, lady, Greta? I mean, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't have solar energy. You know, there's when it's not windy, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't
And
think it's
Trump says it'll give you cancer too. So I mean,
I don't think it's
that's
so
what
much us. It's just the young message bitching to the older government corporation running people.
they don't give a fuck, dude. They don't.
Well, they don't give a
They
fuck
don't give a fuck.
because yeah,
They'll go, oh look at the new pawn they have to come against us. It's a 16-year-old girl. And next week it's going to be some. You know what I mean? They know. They got a whole team of people ready to handle this shit.
oh yeah,
They'll find some fucking like a dead body in Greta's trunk or something.
they'll pin something on her.
Well, just look at that fucking kid from the shooting. No one fucking cares about him anymore. Why is I mean, career in politics. Sky's the limit, right? No, you're just a fucking object, man. You're just an object. And then when you're not useful anymore, you're thrown in the trash. It sucks.
Or
It really
recycled.
does. Or, if you give a fuck about this country and this climate, you'll recycle these people.
Yeah, that's just us solving the world's problems
Well,
in happy medium.
I mean, I don't know. I'd like to solve some problems, but I don't think I can. I mean, I'm not a Times Person of the Year. Well, I just think they're just throwing that out willy nilly. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's people that have done
Who
some
else are you
amazing
gonna
shit.
give it to?
There's people we've never even heard of that have done amazing shit that you don't know about.
Oh, I know, totally.
Because you can't make some narrative out of it, you're never gonna fucking hear about them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've made advances in Alzheimer's and we've made advances in cancer. Where's those people at?
That doesn't sell magazine copies.
Yeah, it's not controversial enough.
Nope.
Caitlyn Jenner, like that's someone they put on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all the big machine.
But do you agree though, like magazines are irrelevant, or do you think they're still relevant?
I mean, they're still around. I think they survive because of online. Like without online, I don't think they would survive.
So like the brand survives though. Like,
yeah, like the iconic brands,
so
Rolling Stone, Time.
I mean, like, yeah. So do you think they're tastemakers, or you think they're just like mindless entertainment? You know what I mean? Because like that's how radio was. Radio was a tastemaker. Now it's just like mindless entertainment. You know what I mean? Just like something you put on, like to shut somebody up in the background.
Yeah,
Something you put
I
on.
guess it depends on the magazine. I'm not a big magazine reader, so I don't know. I don't know when the last time I read a magazine.
Yeah. What about the paper? Did you ever read the paper?
No.
Oh, do you know anybody who does?
No.
Yeah. Does your town have a local paper?
Or
is it
they
the
have
paper?
They have a local magazine.
Magazine? Wow.
I mean, it's like 5 pages.
Yeah.
Yep. So that still exists in the small municipality level.
Yeah. That just used to be a big deal, man. Like back in the day, like in the old days, like someone would write some paper and it'd be like illegal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the kings and queen days. Like, oh, what is this shit? Oh, kill them. You know?
Right.
Now it's just online, just posting anonymously. But I just think everything's just online. I hope the internet doesn't get regulated. I really don't. But then again, I kind of hope it does to a point, you know?
Yeah, it'll weed out a lot of... Well, it just depends how you regulate it.
Just like Alex Jones, okay? So Alex Jones is Alex Jones. And well, I'm not going to explain him to the audience. They should know who he is. He's a big deal. But, I mean, conspiracy theory guy, basically a car salesman, in my opinion. I don't know if he honestly believes the shit he says. He's fucking crazy. I think he's more of like a WWE kind of guy. I think he probably believes some of it, and some of it he knows is bullshit. But like he was kicked off YouTube and kicked off Facebook. And why do you think um, why are certain things okay and certain things not? You know what I mean? Because like that was the magic of the internet, was like anybody can do whatever they want. And they said not Alex Jones because he said the shootings were fake or whatever. I mean, when are we gonna do more of that? I mean, where like someone pisses us off. I mean, the internet was like a safe haven for those freaks. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, when are we gonna? I mean, certain people have been kicked off Twitter. Certain people have been. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you take the paper and then you got everything online, but then we're gonna like start shutting people down online. Like, how? Anybody who's not a fucking read.
I have no idea. No, it's an open-ended question. It's people take it too far. Some people take it too far.
If you believe the Alex Jones shit, you're a fucking moron. So, and you take them off YouTube and you take them off Facebook, they're still gonna seek it out.
Right.
So like the problem is not Alex Jones. The problem is the fucking moron.
Right.
He's just coming along making money off the fucking moron. I mean, he was making I don't know. He was making a lot of money. I think, freedom of speech and everything, but like YouTube has the right to say who they want on there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really? So there's like a lot of people that probably should be taken off YouTube besides Alex Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But like, I don't know. Again, I'm not defending the guy. He seems like an awful person, but.
Well, I mean, all it takes is, I'm not saying they'll stop at 100%, but all it takes is to like add, if you want to post on YouTube, you got to pay for it. You got to be a member. You got to subscribe. Or not subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to take it to the pay gate level. But then that ruins the whole free internet. Because then you have to make people pay to listen or watch these things.
Well, when do we like start regulating who gets to do whatever they want?
Well, they do. That's the question. That's the online censorship. To questions like what dictates what gets banned or not.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just. I hope that. I mean, I don't give a fuck about Alex Jones personally, but I'm just saying like that sets a precedent there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or like we can ban certain people, because I'm sure I could go on YouTube and find a whole bunch of people that should be banned and they're not.
Right.
I'm sure I could. Same thing on Twitter with certain people. I'm not saying the people that again, I'm not defending Alex Jones. I don't give two fucks about him. He seems like a kind of guy that I'd want to punch in the face if I was around him. Just annoying, wants to be tough. He's some fat fuck, whatever. Probably interesting to get high with and talk to, like on Joe Rogan. But so like I get my own channel, which I do, but it's like lame. No one's on it. But say I get one that's like got 2 million followers, and they don't like what I'm saying, and they can just shut me down. Like, when do you draw the line on that? When you outrage enough people. I mean, Howard Stern outraged a lot of people on radio and was never shut down. But you're gonna shut down somebody on YouTube? I mean, they were making money off of them. I guess it's not worth it. I don't know. I mean,
I don't have the answer to that question. No idea, because it's a slippery slope. It's like you said, what warrants to get shut down? Can people get mad at you?
Well, then once you shut somebody down, then like what stops you from shutting down other people for like less?
Well, it's happened. I mean, people have gotten banned from YouTube and Twitter, and
didn't Logan Paul get banned from YouTube? I don't know. He should have. He's a waste of semen. He is, but he's worth $14 million. So who's the idiot? I guess. Yeah.
All right, Matt. Any last thoughts for the evening?
Do you have a New Year's resolution?
Oh, you think this will be our last one before New Year's?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll do one more.
I was just saying though.
We'll save that for next time.
All right.
That'll be our New Year's special.
Last thought for the season. Not season, episode. Sorry. No, just this worked out probably good, I think, for the most part. So,
what's your last time we did Matt's picks for the week?
Oh, The Watchmen, The Irishman.
So
okay. Well, I re-emphasized The Watchmen since I finished it. I could have like changed and been like, that sucks. You know what I mean? I don't change.
Hmm.
They didn't ruin it. End of the fucking world season 2. I've mentioned that. Um, I haven't seen Knives Out. Knives Out's supposed to be good, and then I want to see Queen and Slim. Yeah. Oh, I saw The Shining. Okay, have you seen The Shining? I'm not
Years
gonna go
ago.
on forever. Relax, relax. Okay. Last time you're here, you're like running out, and I'm like still talking. I
That's the
don't blame
beauty of
you.
that. I don't have to go anymore. I
You
don't have
just
to.
like just hang up.
Yep.
I saw The Shining. Okay, and it's like, who gives a fuck? Okay, who gives a fuck? I get it. Like Stanley Kubrick is a good director. It's shot well, all the hotel, all that beautifully. Jack Nicholson, very off-putting. I like my Jack Nicholson older, 50s, 60s, 70s, Departed, that kind of Jack Nicholson. You know, when he's in his 30s and 40s, very fucking off-putting, man. Very fucking off-putting. But okay, so he goes to the hotel, and it makes you go crazy. It's haunted. And he like makes him kill his family, like relive something he's done already. And then the kid's got some power, and then it's like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
Well, it was made in the 70s,
It's made in the 80s, but,
80s, whatever.
but it's like 3 hours. And it's like, okay, he goes crazy. There's ghosts to make him go crazy and kill his family. And the kid's psychic. And then, like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I'm
I like that
sorry.
movie. It was creepy.
It was creepy. And it was like the slow build. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And it was shot so well. And Jack Nicholson, even though he's off putting, is supposed to be off putting. Most of his characters are supposed to be off putting. I'm just a sick fuck. I thought he was cool in The Departed. And there's other movies I liked him as older. He's one of those guys that like aged better. Like as he got older, he looked better. Young Jack Nicholson's too fucking creepy, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw a documentary
But
where they treated who was the actress in that?
God, I don't know. She looks like she's anorexic though. She's ugly as fuck too.
They
Fuck her too.
they treated her like shit. Like
They should have.
Kubrick and
She acts like she was treated like shit. She could barely like every
yeah.
time.
That's why Kubrick did it to get her in that mental state. But she said it
Oh,
was like
yeah.
borderline abuse.
Oh, yeah. Because his Jack Nicholson was verbally abusive to her.
What was the document? Room. What was the room number? That was, and then there's a lot of conspiracies about that movie too.
What is that?
One conspiracy is that it wasn't that movie. It was 2001. Never mind. That was surrounded by Kubrick. That Kubrick made 2001 to prove that they could fake or to show. Wait a minute, what was it? I don't know if it was chicken or the egg. Pretty much, it was Kubrick showing the government that he could shoot things in space to create the moon landing footage. It was either vice versa,
Really?
one or the other. But that was another movie.
That's another movie. Who gives a fuck?
I know,
I'm sorry.
but there was another
Who gives a fuck?
a documentary about The Shining, like Room 239 or 236. And then the room, and then there's a lot of, and then Kubrick and Stephen King hated each other because Kubrick added a lot of stuff that wasn't in the book, and it's a good documentary. I would check it out. That's probably more interesting than the movie, according to Matt. I like the movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I watched it as a young.
I don't know, man. I'm like, oh my God, The Shining, Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick, and it's just like, it's good, but at the end of the day, it doesn't touch me on that level, and it's just like, who gives a fuck?
You want to know what my pick of the day is?
That's my anti-pick. That's my
Okay.
anti-pick. Is do not waste 3 hours watching the fucking Shining, and then Doctor Sleep, the sequel. I'll go to sleep and not watch it. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck about that creepy ass kid growing up. You should have got what was coming to him by his dad. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
I actually went to go see a movie this weekend.
Oh, you!
And
What'd you see?
And it was
Frozen 2?
Jumanji 2.
Oh, wow.
It actually wasn't
How
that
was it?
bad. Well, I really like the Jumanji movie, the remake, the first remake with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Danny DeVito's in it, isn't
Yeah.
he? I love Danny.
He's in the
DeVito,
second one, yeah. So
He goes in someone's body, right?
Yeah, I saw that this weekend. It was pretty entertaining.
Cool, man.
It wasn't a
Good for you.
Scorsese flick, but
Whatever. It's probably like one of the biggest movies out there right now.
yeah, it won the weekend, but there wasn't much.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of competition.
Well, you got Frozen 2. That's probably out, right?
I saw that too. So my pick of the
did?
week is, I guess I'm not wasting my pick of the week on Jumanji. I don't know. What'd I say? Everybody's watching Miss Maisel. I'm late to the game on that. So Mr. Robot, I guess, since no one,
Yeah.
I don't know a soul who watches that besides me. So I have no one
I'm
to
gonna
talk
watch
to about
it.
it. We're going to be too late by the time it ends next week. So
I'm gonna
hurry
read
up.
spoilers.
Hurry up. No one's talking about
That's
it online, so there are no spoilers. don't have to worry about that. Yeah, make that a challenge. Binge watch it. Last episode on Sunday.
Is it really?
Yeah,
And it's on USA?
it's on USA. Well, the 3 seasons are on Amazon.
Okay. USA, wow. USA, Franklin and Bash. I recommend that show. Binge watch Franklin and Bash.
Franklin and Bash and Suits.
Suits, yeah. All right, yeah, that's it for me, man. I'll just end it there.
All right. Well,
all right, man.
We'll see if this format works out. We might be in person next time. We might not. It's a lot easier to put out content like this, even though the quality suffers a little bit. It might be worth it.
Oh, can you do a numbers thing, or you got to go?
I'm still recording. We can talk numbers after I stop. After I press stop.
Yeah, we don't want it documented.
All right. Thanks for checking us out. At Happy Medium Pod everywhere. Search for Happy Medium. Click our links. Facebook Happy Medium Pod. Twitter Happy Medium. Happy Medium Pod.
Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram. I don't update the Instagram a lot.
Still follow us though.
Still follow us. Yeah.
We'll start it. We might start updating if people start following us. So
there you go.
Yeah, we're available everywhere. Podcasts are available, right? iHeartRadio, Apple. Where else?
Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there.
If you walk down a dark alley, we'll be there. So, waiting for you.
with earphones. Listen.
Yeah.
Earphones, earbuds, whatever they are. All right. We'll see you next.
If you tell people that you listen to this show, they'll still be your friend. I promise. That's an ugly rumor. Okay. Thank you. Bye.